Whenever people think of God of War, nobody remembers the glorious games anymore. Now all they think of is boy and dad of boy.
Hey, I'm the boy.
You kind of sound like... I think you sound like Atreus, in my opinion. You kind of sound like Atreus. Anyways, but we're not going to talk about the jokes here. We're here to talk about seriousness, because
Yeah.
God of War is one of the most important games in the whole entire gaming industry. How so? Let me take you a very terrible time in the year of 2003, I believe.
5.
2002.
Oh,
So
2002.
Santa Monica released a racing game called Kinetica, and it was well received by everyone. The creator and director of God of War, David Jaffe, was playing a little video game by Capcom called Onimusha. It's basically imagine God of War, but with Japanese historical figures. And David said, let's do that with Greek mythology, because why not? And during the development, Santa Monica was given creative control, so that means they could do whatever the heck they wanted in the game. And in 2005, God of War was released on the PlayStation 2, and it became the most popular game on the console.
If I'm not mistaken, it was the game of the year.
I think so. I don't know. Anyways, the reason why it revolutionized gaming was because of the story. It was a Greek mythology video game, and also because the combat mechanics in that game was beyond revolutionary during the time period the game came out. So the story is as follows. Kratos is a strong Spartan warrior, and during the Battle of the Barbarians, he asks Ares for help. Ares agrees, and after the Battle of the Barbarians, Ares tried to test the Spartan's strength by making him kill a village during a blind rage. While Kratos did kill everyone in the village, the last people who were killed by his blind rage were his wife and daughter.
Which he killed his wife and his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became, or his skin color, because of the Ghost of Sparta, became Hale, I think.
Yeah.
What is it?
The witch of the village how do I say this? The village oracle or witch binds the ashes of his dead family onto Kratos' skin, and it gave him a pale skin color, and it gave him the Ghost of Sparta because of the pale color of his skin. And now Kratos is going on revenge to get Ares, and that's basically the whole story of the first game. And the game sold 4.6 million copies, and people were demanding, hungry for more.
That's older than me.
Then in 2007, God of War 2 released on the PlayStation 2, and people were excited to know what was gonna go on after Kratos killed Ares. Taking place 13 years after the first game, Kratos becomes a new God of War after killing Ares. This time, he seeks revenge on Zeus for killing him and stripping away his godliness, and sends him to the underworld. But before he goes into hell, the Titan Gaia saves him and tells him that in order to get revenge on Zeus, Kratos must find the Sisters of Fate so that Kratos can go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu and kill Zeus before his death. And in this game, the Icarus wings were introduced. So for those of you who said it was God of War 3 that introduced the Icarus wings, it didn't. It was the second game. And fun fact about the Icarus wings, they were originally going to be on the first game, but they thought it was going to be too OP. So second game it is.
Too overpowered.
After the game release, it sold 4.2 million copies. Not as much as the first game, but it still did successful. And it won a Golden Joystick Award for Best PlayStation Game of 2007.
Now that's nice.
Another God of War game came out in 2007, but it was called God of War Betrayal.
Which was on the,
Which
if
was
I'm
on
not
the-
mistaken, the PSP?
No, it was on the flip phone mobile game.
Oh, wow.
And it was a prequel
That
to
one's
God
the
of-
other one.
Yeah. This God of War Betrayal was a prequel to God of War 2, and it won a Best Wireless Platformer Game Award. And then after
God
that,
of War is on the roll.
after the that I'm shouting. God of War Betrayal. After the Betrayal, you got the one that you said that came out on the Nintendo 3DS on my live stream when I was ending the game. It was actually the PSP, and it's called the Blades of Olympus. This time, it was not developed by Santa Monica, but instead Dawn Studios.
Wait, hold on.
Hmm?
If I'm looking at it right now, it was, you said blades, it was chains. Just point that out there.
Oh, Blades of Olympus. Or Chains of Olympus?
It was chains. I'm looking
Oh.
at the game title right now.
Yeah. So yeah, not developed by Santa Monica, but Dawn Studios, and it was the first God of War game to be on the PSP, and it's the most critically received PSP game of all time.
It is windy.
I dropped my mic for a second. Anyways, now 2010, people finally got the following of the second game, God of War 3, and this was the most hyped God of War game of all time, because this is Kratos versus every single freaking Olympian god. Imagine the excitement everyone had when they could finally get their revenge on all the Olympian gods.
The people, actually for me, in my opinion, I thought like this game had such good graphics, even on the PS3. They've also made a remaster on the PS4.
Yeah.
Not long after.
It came out. The remastered came 5 years after the original release in 2010.
Never mind.
And yeah, this game sold 5.2 million copies worldwide, and it won Best PlayStation 3 Game, Best Graphics, and Biggest Badass Award. And the reason why they invented it was for Kratos. So, I don't know. For 7 years, people did not have a God of War game. And whenever PlayStation asks for the public, do you think the God of War 3 is the perfect finale for Kratos? And everybody was like, yeah, I think so. I think this is the perfect finale for Kratos. Well, here it is, a teaser for the next God of War game. And people were excited to play as Kratos again. But this time...
God of War 4!
Yes, God of War 4. But this time, he already has a family. And it consists of Atreus, and that's it. That's all. And in this fourth game, Kratos and Atreus have to go to the highest peak of all the realms to spread his mother what was her name again? Freya or Faye? Oh, no, Faye.
Faye.
To spread Faye's ashes. Faye is the wife of Kratos and the son and the mother of Atreus. And not gonna lie, after finishing this game, I feel kind of inspired, or I felt very joyous after the game.
I felt kind of sad God of War was over. I was like, dang it, now I gotta wait for the next game.
Now, during the game you play as Kratos, of course, and it kind of does like how do I say this? Show off the main character's strength, and you're like, okay, and then the villain comes in and it proves to be even stronger than the character, and you're like, oh god, no, is the villain gonna win? Because we already showed how strong the main character can be, so the villain being even stronger than him.
No, never. But Kratos was hiding his strength because of Faye and Atreus.
Because if he was angry again, then it would be like God of War 3 all over again, or even worse. So
It'd probably be God of War 1.
So yeah, this game has everything. It has amazing music by the great Bear McCreary. Check out his music, especially Battlestar Galactica. It is beautiful.
Check out Ashes, please.
This game almost made me cry. The moment that almost made me cry was whenever Kratos goes inside a light beam and is like, Faye, where are you? And then he gets pulled back by Atreus and he's like, I was only gone for a few minutes, and it turns out that it's been more than that. And then Atreus and Kratos go into
And then
an
Atreus was like taking out arrows from like monsters' heads,
Yeah.
Draugrs.
Yeah. This moment actually kind of made me cry because this kind of reminds me of me and my dad kind of have arguments. We can never be on the same side in some parts. And
Yeah.
also, yeah, and this kind of felt kind of real. And that's why it almost made me cry. And I kind of imagine almost every child going through this too with their parents. They can't get on the same side with each other.
Atreus would have died if Kratos like refused to go out of the light.
But after that, God of War became an amazing success. People praised it, critics praised it. Heck, even people who didn't like gaming praised the game for its storytelling.
And can I announce what it got for the year?
Yes, you can say it.
It got Game of the Year!
Every single time I ask my friends, "Hey, do you remember who won Game of the Year 2018?" They always say Spider-Man, 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 Spider-Man. But when I looked at it, it was actually God of War.
You know why I said Spider-Man? Because it says Game of the Year edition for Marvel Spider-Man, which kind of confused me. And then you showed, or you wanted me to see the video, so I did. I was like, oh wow, it was God of War.
And my
I'm
God,
not surprised.
the way they presented the nominees with an orchestra going through different types of music based on the game, it was amazing. Whoever that composer is, give him a medal for best music transitions. Give him
Give him a
now.
gold medal. He deserves it.
Anyways, the game was a massive success. And guess what? People were hungry for more again. And then God of War Ragnarok came out. But the game was kind of teased. The game was kind of teased by a bunch of Twitter posts by the game director, and it all spelled out Ragnarok is coming. And God of War Ragnarok was announced, and it was going to release on 2020. But
It did.
it didn't, because Christopher Judge got surgery, was feeling sick, and he had to have back surgery.
But can I say this one thing?
Yep.
About God of War. So God of War. Oh, frick. Right when I say it, I forget. All right, keep going.
After God of War 4 came, God of War Ragnarok was gonna come out in 2020, but it didn't because of Christopher Judge's health problems. And soon in November 2022, the glorious God of War Ragnarok came out, and it was the last ever game to come out on both PS4 and PS5, like the last ever game to come out on both consoles.
Wait, what is?
God of War Ragnarok was the last PlayStation exclusive game to come out on both consoles. So games after God of War Ragnarok are now just going to be released for the PlayStation 5.
Oh wow. Oh, that's terrible.
And the game was a success. Everywhere, whenever this game came around, there wasn't a day in my life where I got to see Kratos versus Thor, Kratos versus Odin, Baldur being mentioned in God of War 2, Heimdall versus Kratos. You know,
All these like bosses were insane.
And I haven't even played it before when the game came out, but after visiting what's the name of that again? I just forgot what it was called. I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of like a gaming center where like you play PC games. They have championships, and you can play 30 minutes on a PS5 and Xbox Series X for 30 minutes. You can play on it for 30 minutes for $5, and it was next to a Five Below where I live at. I don't know what it's called.
Me neither.
Anyways, I was on there. I paid $10 for an hour, and in that game, and during that hour, I was battling Thor, and I said, "Oh, Oh no, this is what people were going on about. This is what people were. This is why people are
Talking about.
excited. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Another thing, and it was amazing. The Thor boss fight was amazing.
The best thing about it is when Kratos actually threw the Leviathan axe and Thor threw the Mjolnir. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And they clashed together, and then the whole ground like cracked, and then they were just walking around their weapons.
And then whenever and then they clashed each other. And then Kratos' axe hits Thor's hammer, and when they clash each other, frozen lightning out of nowhere. Like there was frozen lightning right at the center of the battlefield.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that made this game distinct, in my opinion, is the boss fights. Now, in the last God of War game, I already said this to you, MrBroBob, but the bosses felt kind of repetitive in that game, except for Baldur. Every single boss fight, except for Baldur, was just trolls with rocks, and it was kind of repetitive. I wanted something new, something fresh. So when the Thor boss fight came out, I said to myself, this is exciting. I wonder if there are even more bosses in there. And then Corey X Kenshin kept uploading more videos.
Yeah.
And then I said, and the Heimdall boss fight. And if I'm not mistaken, you also battle the World Serpent, I think, in God of War Ragnarok.
The what?
The World Serpent, or
probably. I haven't played that game in a while. I haven't played it in like 2. No, not necessarily the story. I've completed on the 18th of January.
And I said to my cousin, "Hey, your uncle has a PS5 and he has God of War Ragnarok. What does he think about God of War Ragnarok?" And he said that the best boss fight is with the dragon in the cauldron, mission.
Oh, the cauldron?
Yes.
The cauldron mission. Oh yeah, one of the best things about that game too, you actually get to play as Atreus.
Yes.
And I was like, the other day, I was like, because I already finished it like 2 months ago, I said to myself, I want to play God of War Ragnarok. I kind of just want to be Atreus. And I'm like, dang it. And the worst thing about God of War Ragnarok, you don't get to play as Atreus after the story.
Yeah.
Which is the worst. He doesn't have his own side missions. That's really just it. That's really just messed me up.
Another thing that I really like about this movie is that it doesn't miss any emotional beats. The death of Brock was really heartbreaking, and the ending where Kratos hugs Atreus and they leave for probably the last time, and then Kratos looks back at the flipboard and sees that now everyone praises his name is kind of touching. Kratos lived the entire God of War franchise under a name of hatred, but now seeing people praising him, it's kind of like a reverse effect, and now
he was terrified when he saw that. He was like, don't like. Okay, listen. I have subtitles on all the time. I can't do anything without them. But there's this one thing. Like at the bottom of the screen, it said Kratos breathing heavily, and I'm like, why is he breathing louder and louder and louder? And he starts like kind of like because he was a killer. He was a killer, and he kind of still does kill like Draugrs because they technically deserve it. But he used to kill like villages because what's that one guy's name?
Ares.
Ares told him to.
Yeah, but whenever me and my cousin saw his uncle play and finish it, we both ended up in tears. Even though I already saw it with my friend at school, and no, he wasn't terrified. He was kind of, speechless. That he finally isn't seen as an image of hatred anymore.
You can go.
Another thing that makes me cry is how this game didn't win Game of the Year. Why?
I know! Elden Ring did! Come on! I'm about to jump out my window right now.
Yeah, Elden Ring was fun. It was amazing. I love the world building of the game. I love the story and the lore. I love how you get to. I love the different ways you can explore different worlds. But come on, God of War Ragnarok made me cry almost 2 times. Why
I
didn't
know,
this
right?
game win? But to be honest, the game that God of War Ragnarok won like every other game award.
Which they have enough. No, they don't have enough actually. Give us another game of the year.
Now, for those of you saying, you just listed up the entire history. What is so revolutionary about it? When the first God of War game came out for the PlayStation 2, it revolutionized combat. If it wasn't for this game, we probably wouldn't have the same combat style we have in, say, Arkham and the Arkham Knight games, or even Spider-Man 2018, which people praise the combat for. So
Let me tell you about something about God of War 3. People were tired of the same battling combat, like where the camera is. People were so tired of that like the fans, everybody that played God of War, the original God of War, hated like the God of War 3 combat. No, they loved the game, but they were just like, ugh, I'm so tired of using the same combat, using the same weapons and all that. I searched it up.
So the first God of War game, it revolutionized the combat in PlayStation games and just games in general. The second game, I didn't think it revolutionized anything except for the fact that PlayStation was being aware that this franchise could actually lead them somewhere. And when the third one came out, big concepts for video games started coming out, and felt like that even though the concepts were big, it didn't matter a lot as long as it makes the player happy. And in God of War 2018. It made video games try to have more inspiring stories. Heck, if God of War in 2018 didn't come out, then we probably wouldn't have any other games that made us emotional. I think it was also Detroit Become Human. When did it come out?
Oh, I think it came out like 2018, 19, 18.
Oh yeah, it came out 2018. So without Detroit Become Human, Spider-Man, and God of War 2018, we wouldn't have more video games with sad stories. This is why we live for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, bro.
So anyways, yeah, that's how God of War revolutionized gaming history. Believe it or not. If you have some more additional information about it, then feel free to comment down below. And support MrBroBob's channel. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to his channel, why are you here? No one who hasn't subscribed to MrBroBob is allowed here.
If you are watching this video, I mean it's his video, so please subscribe to him too.
Yeah, subscribe to MrBroBob too. He needs support. We need people to know that there are people who actually like our content.
Yeah, me and him talk quite a bit.
I feel like we should make a podcast together.
Yeah, bro. I just sit around and be like, "Hey, you want a beer?"
No. Nah. See you soon. I'm going to continue making more trauma reviews, and MrBroBob keeps MrBroBobbing, whatever.
Yup, that's me.
Yeah. Anyways, see you next time.
See ya.